So hey everybody, this is Ashmit and welcome back to the Python tutorial for absolute beginners. This is the first part in the series, and if you have clicked on this video, you made the best decision in your life, because by the end of this course, you will learn some things that you will never learn normally. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here in the first slide, you can see we will be learning about all these things: variables, strings, data types, and more. And we will be learning Python for absolute free. So you should totally watch the whole video. Now let's get right into it, right? So an IDE is a thing that occupies more disk space and is generally more feature rich, customizable, and offers tons of features. Overall very complicated. Some examples are VS Code, Atom, etc. So this is an IDE versus a text editor. You might have heard all these things, that text editors and IDEs like VS Code, but you don't really know, right? So I created this slide for you so that you can find out the difference. So the text editor, on the other hand, is a lightweight program, has less features, does not offer any features, has a bland UI, like not those all those flashy things. We will be showing this to you later in the video. So user friendly, but you cannot code in many languages. Like in an IDE, you can code in every language: HTML, Java, Python, CSS, etc. Examples are Notepad, gedit, and Sublime text editor. Now gedit is for Linux usually, and Notepad is for Windows, and Sublime text editor is for all of them: Mac, Windows, and Linux. So you can choose what you want to choose. To download all these things, you have to head to the download page so that you can download the programs. Obviously, this is an example of the program that is that is right there, and it's very cool. So you just head over to the site and download the Visual Studio Code or anything you want to download, like Sublime text editor, Atom, etc. So the first thing that you need to learn is a print command. It is a very essential thing to learn in Python, and you need to learn it to do all the things. Basically, the print command, to print means to output something, means that if you put something like inside the editor, the console prints it using the print command, and it is pretty straightforward. Print means to output something. Now like if you see, we have the print hello world, and this we will do in the IDE right now. So I will be just switching over to the IDE. So this is the IDE, and this is a really good IDE in my opinion, but still I need to create a file like that, and you need to choose a name for your file. Tutorial, I'll be choosing this name, so you can go with anything you want to go with. So this is the extension for Python is .py, so you need to keep that in mind while creating files. We can close this one, main.py. This was for my learning purpose. So to write your first command, you need to just do this print, and then you need to put some curly brackets around it, nice and close, and then you need to write hello world, because that is, in my opinion, is a lucky thing to write. And so you need to do this, and after that you need to just save this. You have to save it every time, so that Python senses this, that you have updated the console, the editor, you have written something inside it. Otherwise, how would Python know like that? So you save it, and after that so you save it, and after that you just go ahead, and it will be printed. hello world will be printed over here. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you can see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you use the print command. And let's move on to other things. So we will be switching over to our presentation, and if you notice by now I'm using Mac OS. This is the M1 Apple chip, and it is an Apple Silicon chip, and it is a really good chip for my like recording purposes. My other recordings, like pardon my language, but just sucked really. Yeah, so keeping that aside, we should move on to the next like things. So these are the types of data types. This is confusing, but I will be telling it to you step by step. Floating point numbers, these are like decimals. These are I'll be telling it to you. So floating point numbers, strings, integers, booleans, etc. Yeah, so let's just move on to the next slide. Now here I have created a really good slide. This is the string. Like you can see these wool balls, I have taken them as an example, and this is a scientific term for sentences. So if you print the hello world, the syntax hello world is the string. Yeah, so you need to keep that in mind. Now this is the integers. These are the integers. These are just very straightforward. So anybody who doesn't know what integers mean, they are just numbers. And if you print 8, then 8 will be the integer. Now booleans. Now these are not anywhere located in maths or English or anything like strings and integers, but these also define true or false. Means that it means that if we will be using in if statements, they are used generally as a placeholder. So, yeah. Floating point numbers. Floating point numbers are just decimals, and they are used in some specific functions. Although you don't have to write an F after a program like you have to do it in Java. You just have to write the print 8.25 or something with the decimal point. Yeah. So these are comments. Comments are like notes. Yeah, we will be getting on to that. But first of all, let's see what are all those other things. So the first one was the string, and we covered it. See, print hello world. If you want to print anything, you just use the print command with the string. So like that you can do it, and like that, and I love my channel. And now if you save it and print it, it will be printed. See, it is printed. And now whenever you need to like use integers, you only have to use the print command. These are pretty simple things, and you don't have to really do some things to like do it. You just need to know the basic math and English. You don't need to really know the programming stuff. And also notice how I have not put a semicolon in front of each of these programs, but in the presentation I did. Actually, it is not compulsory for it is not compulsory for the programmer to use a semicolon, although it is good practice, but I don't practice good practice. Yeah. So now 8 is printed over here. Yeah, you can see this. 8 is printed over here. Also, just to keep your console clear, you need to use this clear output function that is provided in VS Code. Also, you have, if you have noticed by now, this it is just autocomplete. All these IDEs provide features like autocomplete, themes, plugins, etc. But in text editors, they are not there. So if you have the storage, then go out for VS Code or some other free editors, as they will be very good for you. So now let's give an example for Boolean. Now suppose if you like do this and like you type print, and after that you write 1 is not equal to 1 is not equal to 1, or if you write 1 is equal to 2. Now these double equal to marks, we will cover it in the later parts of this series, as these are called assignment operators, and we will be covering them. There are logical operators, assignment operators, arithmetic operators, yeah, all that stuff. So now if we save this and we go ahead and print it, then a false will be coming over here, because 1 is not equal to 2, 1 is equal to 1, and that makes sense. Yeah, so they have done this, and it's pretty cool. Like, you can show it to your friends, you can trick your friends with this, you can become the cool programmer guy. Yeah, and now what else we have to cover? We have to cover floating point numbers. These are pretty basic concepts, so I hope you are understanding them as I'm doing them. So now in integers, you don't have to put these like marks, quotation marks, because it is not a string, right? It is not a word, it is a number, so you don't need to put anything in front of it, like quotation marks. So if I write 8.25, then this will be classified as a boolean. 8.25 is a boolean, and when you print it, you don't have to do any special you don't have to follow any special practice to write a floating point number in Python, mark my words, but you still have to know it, right? So that's why I'm telling it to you. Yeah, so this is 8.25 and it has been printed over here. What else is left? Nothing else is left, just some things. Yeah, if that makes sense. Okay, now let's just go ahead and open our presentation. Now comments are like notes that are not displayed in the console. Means, like, suppose if you are writing a program and you don't know, you have to show it to somebody else who doesn't have any programming knowledge, then you just comment things out for him, and then out for him or her, and then you can show it to them. Like, you can really show it to them. Yeah, so we will be practicing comments. Like, suppose if I write, you have to put a hash symbol in front of your sentence so that it is classified as a comment. This is an integer. Okay, so I do this, and now this will not be displayed on the console. I save this just so that you don't think I'm telling some garbage or rubbish. So now it is not displayed over here. You can see this, the code is saved, everything else is saved, but the code is not displayed over here. These are just like notes. Yeah, so you know that now, right? Let's go ahead and open up variables. So variables are really good, and I just have to pause right now. Wait a second. Okay, so I'm back. Now these are variables. Now if I start up my presentation, and you can see variables are like containers. Like, you have different containers in your house. Some store wheat, some store flour and other things, but still you need it, right? You need to store any sort of data in programming. So here I have given an example. X equals 23. 23 is the data stored inside a container named as X. Yeah, so that's the thing. And now if we move over here, thanks for watching. We will be showing that was a big reveal actually. So yeah, so now if I visit my Visual Studio Code, you will come to know. Now suppose if we take X and now we do something like we do something, we can store an integer 89, then we can print X and X. Now if we run this, and now we will save this, we will clear the output and everything. Now if we run this, we will come to know about 89. Now 89 was in X. Now X contains the value 89, so we printed X, that means that x contained the value 89. So that clarifies it. And we will be taking many examples. See, variables can store anything. They can store strings, they can store integers, they can store booleans, they can store floating point numbers. So I will not be taking an example for each of them as I explained it to you. It is pretty straightforward. It is a fundamental of Python. You will be using it in many use cases. It will be having many uses. So yeah, if we take another variable called y, and now if we take chill pill, and now we write something like this is a string. Now if we print y and we see print y, now y will be printing this is a string as it contains this value. Y contains the value this is a string, which is a string. Yeah, that makes sense totally. So I'll be clearing the output and saving the code, and then I will be running this, and this results in this is a string. When I printed y, that means that y has contained the value this is a string, the word. Okay, so there are many different types of these things. Because the video will go on too long if I keep on explaining, so we will be covering it in the next video. This is Ashmit, and we'll catch you in the next one. Also, I wanted to show you the slide. I have put a lot of work in this slide. I put a lot of work in this video. I am very sorry for delaying my videos 1 month later. So we are right now on 106 subscribers. I want to reach 1000 subscribers. You can easily skip this part, but please don't. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to create videos. This is getting too emotional, so let's just end this video now. So let's just go ahead in our OBS and stop